usually you have pork chops in the oven, or I mean in the freezer. And so that's a matter of just pulling them out and grabbing a great recipe from Chef Laura, who's of course from Celebrated Cuisine. And this was it peaches?
Peach and bourbon barbecue sauce.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, how are you?
Great, great.
If I had known it was National Margarita Day, I would have made a tequila-based barbecue sauce. But I didn't know, and I don't know how, because I'm a margarita girl, so.
You are, okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
We should know this about her.
Just to answer that other question, a reposado or añejo tequila would be excellent, and the better the quality, actually has more of a Scotch flavor to it.
Okay.
So,
and I don't know what Scotch tastes like. So is that like a really like a?
It's a sipping. It becomes more of a sipping.
Okay,
drink
so it's more palatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
delicious. Yes.
The only really kind of knowledge and like base I have for tequila was like a college night kind of gone wrong with.
I'll take you out.
Yeah.
We'll
so I don't really have a good warm fuzzy feeling about tequila.
Oh, we can change that. You'll be warm and fuzzy for sure.
That's another story. I have a great warm fuzzy feeling about them. But let's talk pork chops.
Yes, let's talk pork chops for sure. Well, we are making a peach bourbon barbecue sauce, like I said. So we're going to do a pan grilled pork chop. We'll cook this off a little bit. This is a bone-in center cut pork chop, and I got one that's a little bit thinner, but you can get them a lot thicker as well, and you don't have to go bone in either. I like bone in because I think it adds more flavor, actually.
Right, sure.
And we are doing these on a cast iron pan, but I highly encourage people to do this on their outdoor grill as well.
Okay.
Now, last weekend, probably not, because you would have had to stand in rubber boots and an umbrella over your head, but as we approach spring and summer, absolutely.
I did cook with pork chops last weekend.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Spicy citrus sauce had a little bit of orange juice and a little bit of molasses.
So you have to send me that recipe.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
So the rest of our ingredients are going to include a little bit of sweet onion that I just small diced. We're going to cook that. We'll get that going. Actually, if you want to help me out and get it going, that'd be great. So I'll swap sides with you. So we're going to add our to our butter that's melted in the saucepan right now. We'll add our sweet onion as well as some minced up garlic, and here we have some serrano pepper, okay? So this is a serrano, but what I did was I included the seeds, okay, because the spice factor in any of our hot peppers, whether it's jalapeno, habanero, chipotle, etc., is going to come from the rib, the seed, and the stem. That's where the majority of the capsaicin is, and that's what makes it spicy.
The majority of the what?
Capsaicin, which is what heats it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's the word of the day.
Capsaicin?
So we'll be coming back to that one, yes.
Capsaicin.
So I just did a nice little fine chop on that, capsaicin, exactly. So we're going to sweat those vegetables down. Our other ingredients that we'll add shortly will include some apple cider vinegar, 2 different kinds of mustard. We have Dijon mustard as well as a stone ground mustard.
So is it going to have a really mustardy flavor?
No, it won't, because I'm going to balance that with the sweetness of our peaches and our peach preserves.
And bourbon.
Let's not forget the bourbon, exactly. And so if you think about it, our mustard is going to give us a little edge, a little sharpness, but the sweetness is going to balance that out. So, you know, in my kitchen, it's all about balance, right? So we're going to do that, and then what we're going to do to finish our sauce, once our vegetables are sweated off and our other items are pureed, is we're going to add some Southern Comfort, which is more of a peach flavored bourbon liqueur that we can use, okay? So now that you've done a great job of sweating that off, go ahead and add the apple cider vinegar to that. That's going to steam up just a little bit.
We have what, like a medium-high heat over there?
Medium-high heat going, exactly. And then we're going to add our 2 mustards. So let's add our Dijon first, and then we'll add our stone ground. Now, the stone ground mustard that I use is actually this one right here. You can find this in pretty much every grocery store now. And what I love about this is that it's got the grains, the whole grains of the mustard seed in there.
I always like to remind people, too, sometimes, because if they're just tuning in, it's interesting, because this time of year we always have, you know, people that want to escape the cold, and so they come here. We always provide these recipes online, so, you know, if we, I was wondering if I was using the right utensil. I feared I wasn't. The recipe is always available online, as well as the video, so if you miss something, then you can always go back and view that.
Right. And what I also, you know what's really cool about this barbecue sauce, too? A lot of the barbecue sauces that we eat have a tomato base to them. So it might have some tomato, like ketchup, or it'll have some tomato paste or something. And this is using the mustard instead. So it's really going to have a very different flavor. It's not going to look like your standard barbecue sauce. Okay, cool.
Oops, sorry.
Go ahead and add the preserves to this. Okay, so remember, we're going to get a good sweet factor out of that. So think about our flavors now. We've got the sharpness from the mustard. We have the sweetness of the preserves. We'll have sweetness from the peaches. We've got some acid from our vinegar. And then we've got that spicy going on with the serrano, okay?
Okay.
All right, so once that's all whisked in, we're going to add this. We're going to bring this up to a boil, drop it down to a simmer, and just let it go for a little bit so we're able to puree it.
Sorry, it was boiling, and so I thought maybe the butter would get all nasty.
Nope, you're all good. You're doing a fabulous job.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
I wanted to grab one of those out of the little container before I put it in there. And if I was at home, I would have grabbed one.
Now, I also want to point out to everyone that this sauce is not just great on the pork chops, but it's also great in pretty much any other type of protein that you want to use. So
if you're not a pork girl.
eater, put it over salmon, put it on chicken, shrimp. It's really good on beef also. I mean, it really makes the round. So, and it's the kind of sauce that you can make ahead and freeze it too if you want to, especially if you make too much.
You are speaking my love language.
That's what
freeze and pull it out and stick it in the refrigerator, and it's ready when you come home.
I not just bring the food love, I just bring the love overall.
You bring the love all the way around. All right, speaking of love, we're going to love the rest of this recipe because we're going to move on and we're going to go ahead and sear up those pork chops. We're going to add it all together, and we're just getting started. She's already hungry.